Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Hallo, guten Abend. Willkommen bei der Pantermina Show. Es ist mal wieder soweit, wenn es heißt Free Palestine. Ja, ich gucke erstmal, dass ihr ein bisschen reinkommt. Hallo, hallo. Schreibt mal bitte eine 1 in den Chat, wenn man mich gut hören kann. So, heute würde ich gerne mit euch ein bisschen über Gaza nochmal sprechen. Kleines Update, was ist in den letzten 24 Stunden passiert. So today I'm going to give you a quick update about Gaza, what happened in the last 24 hours, which unfortunately is more than human beings should be able to cope with. Also, we're going to talk about self-defense, and is what Israel doing really self-defense? Hallo, hallo, hallo. Okay, ihr könnt mich also hören. Hallo, Hani. Ja, wir werden also heute auch über Selbstverteidigung sprechen, denn man sagt uns ja seit Jahrzehnten, Israel würde sich selbst verteidigen. Man fragt sich immer, gegen wen und gegen was. Aber dem gehen wir heute ein bisschen mehr auf den Grund. So it's going to be the issue of self-defense. I'm going to give you a quick update about what is going on in Palestine. Also, I would like to talk a bit about what media is actually really actively doing to help the Zionists become the biggest ruler on this planet. And we have a little bit of more, so I would say, let's get into it. Also ich werde dann auch noch mal ein bisschen über die Medien sprechen und von welcher Seite Unterstützung kommt und welche Seite die nicht unterstützt. Ja, wie diese Seite überhaupt denkt und was diese Seite überhaupt verkörpert. Wir werden also über so ein paar Sachen reden. Anfangen würde ich gerne mit einem Video, so I would like to start with a video that explains this myth of self-defense very good. And after that, I would say we're going to unpack the meaning of self-defense. All right? So, ich werde jetzt erstmal ein Video zeigen, wo dieses Thema Selbstverteidigung von Israel ganz gut beschrieben wird. Es ist auf Englisch. Ich werde vielleicht ab und zu Pause machen, damit ich das ein bisschen übersetze, aber das meiste erklärt sich eigentlich von selbst. Und ja, dann würde ich sagen, let's get into it. So, da haben wir schon mal unseren Darling, ne, Mr. Biden. And every content that I use here, I only use it for fair use, so whatever. It's public information, so it needs to go out. Let's go.
Israel has a right to defend itself.
The United States recognizes Israel's absolute right to defend itself.
I reaffirm my strong support for Israel's right to defend itself.
There's no apology to be made. None. It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region.
It's not right to prevent Palestinians from farming their lands or restricting a student's ability to move around the West Bank or displace Palestinian families from their homes.
Ich will das nur ganz kurz hier stoppen. I just stopped it here because I know that is going to be a very sensitive topic when I talk about Obama, but I'm a very honest person and I'm a very loyal person, and I have to say it how it is. And the difference between Obama and every other president is that Obama knew how to sell the words better. So he knew what people want to hear, but behind our backs, he did the same old as everybody. So we just heard what he said, but then we saw what he did. So, jeder soll sich seine eigene Meinung bilden. Und deswegen mache ich das hier auch, weil ich einfach von überall Informationen ranhole, damit man ein gesamtes Bild dann endlich mal irgendwann verstehen kann. Aber der Unterschied zwischen Obama und den anderen Präsidenten und warum er als großer Held bis heute noch gesehen wird, ist einfach nur, er wusste, wie er die Worte besser verkaufen kann. Hinterm Rücken hat er aber genau das Gleiche gemacht wie alle anderen auch. Und jetzt passiert etwas, was das Problem von Palästina gut beschreibt. Jetzt steht da ein Europäer und entscheidet über eine politische Sache, eine innere Sache von einem komplett anderen Land. Und genau so hat Palästinas Problem überhaupt erst angefangen. So what is going to happen now is that some scumbag European is going to get up now and is going to decide what is going to happen with a foreign country that he has nothing to do. He has no right whatsoever to decide anything about this country. But this is what them scum Europeans like to do. They like to steal your land and then claim to be theirs and then beat you if you dare to say something. And if beaten is not enough, they're going to start and delete you out of existence. So let's go.
I've judged this course of action to be in the best interests of the United States.
He has judged this course of action to be. Like, we don't even have to complete the sentence. I have judged. Who in the hell are you? Donald Duck? Who in the hell do you even think you are? So that is where the problem of Palestine began in the first place. Some European scum decided what is going to happen to a sacred place. So scum is deciding about purity, which in the definition of words doesn't make no sense. Okay? So the lies will be uncovered more and more and more. And I know that a lot of people will feel uncomfortable at certain times, but I'm not going to apologize because that is the point of it. We need to get uncomfortable. We have to be uncomfortable to be able to rethink what we've done all our lives, what we've believed, what we thought, and then have a chance to recreate our own brain and to believe what we see and to really listen when we hear. Darum geht es nämlich. Wie gesagt, jeder soll sich seine eigene Meinung bilden und deswegen mache ich das hier. Ich zeige euch so viele Bilder wie möglich. Es ist nicht aus meinem Mund, es ist aus den Mündern derer, die das Ganze verursachen. Jede Sekunde, während einer dieser Politiker hier spricht, stirbt in Palästina jemand gerade. Während er sein Lächeln auf seinem Gesicht hat, stirbt gerade jemand. Aber das wird ausgeblendet, denn die ganze Welt schaut dann auf Donald Duck. Jede Kamera dieser Erde war auf dieses Interview. Die ganze Welt hat es gesehen, obwohl es nie etwas bedeutet hat, nie irgendeinen legalen Grund hatte. Und von einem Inhalt brauchen wir erst gar nicht zu sprechen. Aber die Kameras auf Palästina zu halten, das bringt diesen Zionisten nichts. Und deswegen haben sie ihn verehrt. That's why the Zionists love this scum so much. Because he's even easier to shift than all the others before. Because he has the ego that is bigger than the whole world. So he thinks he himself can judge anything in his life, let alone something important. I wouldn't even trust him to judge if he goes to the toilet alone. But the world expects us to sit there and shut up and take it. And whenever we do resist, we are being called the worst names that has ever been invented. Why? Because it's the language of the Zionist that we learned from him. Because he's so charming. He knows how to maneuver. He knows how to control. Excuse me. His control is in every level. Die haben unsere Gedanken verändert. Die haben die Art, wie wir die Welt sehen, verändert. Die haben uns die Stereotypen in unsere Gehirne eingepflanzt. So, jetzt muss ich erstmal ein bisschen runterkommen. Let me calm down first. Let me calm down. I need to drink some water. Let me say hi. Hi, bossy. Yes, free Palestine, period. Hello. Hello. Also ich weiß jetzt, dass die Palästina-Flaggen sind, aber ich sag mal so, hier bei mir kann ich die jetzt nicht sehen. Würde ich denen auch zutrauen, dass sie jede Flagge anzeigen, nur die nicht. So the truth is so important. That's why they use so much money and so much power and so much violence to hide it. If what we said wasn't true, nobody would even think about doing anything to us because they know it's not true. But because they know we are right, that is why they bring hell to this country. Und ich möchte, dass jeder einmal auf die Karte geht, auf die Weltkarte. Schaut euch an, wie klein Palästina ist. Go and check how small the country is. It's like a dot on this planet. But because it's so important and because we are so right when we say it is all of our responsibility, the whole world tries to silence us. The whole world is collectively trying to shift the narrative from the oppressor to being the oppressed. And that already happened before. In the Second World War, the Nazis made the Jew to be looked at as like a monster. He was the greedy, liar, thief. They made him look like an unhuman. That was the narrative before they started to do what they did. Then they started to segregate them. They went to their houses. They stole everything. They told them, if you don't get out here, I will kill you. And they did. Oh, yes, they did. Ich erzähle gerade ein bisschen die Parallelen von dem, was wir heute sehen werden. Aber ich werde jetzt nur ganz kurz und dann machen wir einfach weiter, weil die Zeit wird kommen. Die Zeit wird kommen, dass ich darüber rede. Aber diese Zeiten, die ich in Palästina sehe, die sind nicht neu. Im Zweiten Weltkrieg wurden die Menschen des jüdischen Glaubens hingestellt, als ob sie die schlimmsten Monster auf dieser Erde wären. Sie sind die größten Diebe. Sie sind die größten Betrüger. Sie sind die größten überhaupt. Alles Schlechte auf dieser Erde wurde in jeden einzelnen Menschen gepflanzt, nur weil er dem jüdischen Glauben zugehörig war. Das ist also nicht neu. Wir müssen endlich unser Denken shiften. Wir müssen uns endlich davon verabschieden, dass diese Menschen, die das in Palästina tun, Juden sind. Das sind Zionisten. Ich werde auch gleich über die Sprache in den Medien sprechen. Deswegen beruhige ich mich jetzt wieder. We're just going to continue. I'm going to speak about the language in media in a minute. So let's just continue.
United States of America and the pursuit of peace between Israel and the Palestinians.
And let me just say something. When he said this is the best solution for the peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians, Mind you, nobody on this planet asked one single Palestinian about anything what is going on. Nobody of Palestine was in this, on this table. Nobody. They decide for us, just like they did with the Jews. Die haben den Juden die Staatsangehörigkeit weggenommen, das Wahlrecht, das Arbeitsrecht, das Wohnrecht. Genau das Gleiche passiert mit den Palästinensern. Wir müssen also unser Denken umschiften. We need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we realize human beings and evil. Not every white is white. Not every Jew is a Jew. Not every Palestinian is a Muslim. So although in Germany, the skin color of the oppressed and the oppressor was the same, we do understand that there was an oppression going on, because they always try to tell us that the only oppression ever happened was because of the Nazis, because they were monsters. They don't say that they were white. And the one that happened in America, which they, until to this day, don't really admit what really happened. To this day, companies that helped slavery flourish are still on top of the market. To this day. And nobody paid nobody anything. But when it happens in Palestine to people that had nothing to do with anything, now we ignore it because we learned we can ignore it in America, and it worked. Because the racist people love to ignore that. You understand? They love to ignore oppression, and they found a way to change the narrative so that everybody believes it. They knew that they couldn't tell us one single group was bad, so they had to invent a collective mindset of people. When you think of China, you have a set of thinking in your head. Although you've never been to China, you've never been to Asia, you don't speak no language, you don't have no friends from that culture, you don't know nothing about nothing, but you have an opinion. So when you think about Arabs, I know what you think. I know what you think because I have seen them put it in your mind. And I believed it when I saw it because I knew already that they have done it before to the African American people. To this day, when people see black people, I know what they think. And I don't care what anybody says. To this day, because the white supremacists managed to manipulate everybody, including ourselves. We played their game with them. We made it easy for them. Oh, okay, ich beruhige mich. Ich beruhige mich. Aber Leute, das ist nicht neu. Das ist nicht neu, was hier passiert. Afroamerikaner werden bis heute behandelt, als ob sie noch nicht mal Menschen wären. Bis heute. Muslime in China werden wie Scheiße behandelt. Bis heute. Und Palästinenser in Palästina werden genauso behandelt wie die Menschen des jüdischen Glaubens im Zweiten Weltkrieg. Seht es endlich. Das sind nicht die Opfer. Ich zeige euch gleich die Auschwitz-Opfer und was die dazu sagen. I'm going to show you the survivors of Auschwitz and the Second World War. And I'm going to show you what they say so that nobody can tell me I'm crazy anymore. Because I've been listening to people telling me that I'm crazy all my life because I told the truth to everybody. No matter when, no matter how, no matter to who. And everybody that really knows me in this chat can bend his life for what I'm saying. I'm not nobody that you can play with. Just because somebody is nice, do never mistake it with stupid. Never. That is a very dangerous decision. Because you never know who you're going to meet in your life. You never know the crazy level the person is on. The minute you meet that person, you don't know. So always think about that when you talk to people, when you ask questions. Be ready for the answer. If you're not ready for the truth, do not speak. Because you just distract from the truth. Lasst euch nicht veräppeln, Leute. Lasst euch von niemandem veräppeln, bitte. So you can see
a U.S. veto typically is a double veto.
So this is Noam Chomsky. Please, everybody, go and listen to him. He's been speaking his words for decades, and they silent his voice. They silent independent media. They silent independent journalists. They silent independent authors. They silent them. And this is also no surprise. What have they done to the Pentagon Papers? What did they try to do? It's not a surprise. It's nothing new. It all happened before. Das war jetzt extra auf Englisch, weil am Ende des Tages, er redet Englisch. Wer Englisch versteht, geht bitte und folgt ihm. Und ja, er redet halt nur Englisch. Was soll ich machen?
The resolution is not implemented and the event is vetoed from history.
Is vetoed from history. So when America gives his veto, they know that after they give the veto, nothing is going to happen. So Israel can continue, do whatever the hell they want to do, and nobody is being held accountable. Does that sound familiar? Please, somebody in the chat tell me, does not taking responsibility for crimes sound familiar? Hört sich das nach irgendetwas an, wenn ich sage, es werden Kinder umgebracht, es werden Menschen umgebracht und wir gehen jetzt davon aus, das sind Zivilisten, weil es sind verdammt nochmal Zivilisten. Und niemand wird dafür verhaftet. Niemand wird dafür zur Rechenschaft gezogen. Kommt euch das bekannt vor? Wir dürfen geschlagen werden auf der Straße. Wir dürfen rausgezerrt werden aus unseren Häusern. Und niemand wird dafür in Verantwortung gezogen. Erinnert euch das an irgendetwas? If you don't see the parallels, then that means you choose to be blind. And that is it. The conversation is over. The only thing you're allowed to do is listen now. You're not allowed to speak no more. Wer das nicht versteht, der muss ab jetzt ruhig bleiben. Nie wieder irgendwas sagen. Nur noch zuhören. Weil das ist hier kein Hypothesenfall. Wir sind hier nicht bei, ja, meine Meinung ist aber dies. Ja, aber meine Meinung ist das. Hier geht es nicht um Meinungen. Hier geht es um Fakten. Fakten, das, was die euch beibringen als Kind. Immer die Wahrheit zu sagen. Immer sich an die Fakten zu halten. Mit dem Erwachsenensein entlernen sie es wieder von euch. Sie bringen es euch wieder unbei. Mit dem Schulsystem, mit dem Unisystem. Und ich rede nicht von Deutschland alone. Deutschland ist noch eher nicht, okay, können wir uns drüber unterhalten. But the education system set on this planet is that when you are a child, you are being told to shut up, to say the truth, only when asked to speak, and have manners. Then when we grow up, they unlearn it from us. The advertisement starts to be more violent, more sexual. The advertisement in the time of day is different, people. That is not by coincidence. They need to manipulate you in stages. Wer denkt, dass die Werbung zufällig ausgesucht wird, zufällig gedreht wird, zufällige Wörter in den Raum geschmissen werden, der liegt falsch. Wenn wir also schon wissen, dass die Werbung uns manipuliert, dann ist es doch nicht schwer zu glauben, dass die Politiker, wo wir genau wissen, die lügen uns an, uns den ganzen Tag manipulieren. Also bitte, Leute, wir können nicht sagen, bei der Maske sind sie alle am Lügen, aber bei Palästina, da sind sie alle ehrlich. Da sagen sie alle die Wahrheit, obwohl die ganze Welt was anderes sagt. Nur die Politiker sagen das. So you cannot tell me that if I just showed you that even advertisement can manipulate you, you cannot tell me that then it comes to us as a surprise to you that the politicians that we know 100% they lie to us, that they now all of a sudden say the truth. We cannot be saying they lie when they talk about the mask and to wear the mask or not, but then be like, no, when it comes to Palestine, 100%. CNN is on the point. And I'm going to show you what CNN really does. And I'm going to translate it. I told you, this channel is a luxury channel. In this channel, you get things explained. Hier auf meinem Kanal werden die Zwischenzeilen erklärt. And all in my opinion. But if anybody differs with my opinion, I invite anybody to come debate me. But none of no nonsense bullshit, because I said if you don't understand the basics, you're not allowed to speak. Remember? So until anybody can prove me wrong, I will continue to speak. And I know I'm right. So that's no problem for me. Wir müssen hier fertig werden hier. Wenigstens das eine Video. Ich bin noch nicht mal mit dem ersten fertig. Your vice president.
RAEL industry, the major Israeli military industry, is so closely linked to U.S. military industry.
You heard that? The Israeli military is so close linked to the American military, also die israelische Armee bzw. Armeesystem ist so eng verbunden mit dem amerikanischen System, dass, was denn?
That it has actually transferred its management headquarters to Washington.
Verstehst du? The headquarter of the Israeli army is in the USA. Okay? That's so much to self-defense. They are so worried about their own people that they left the continent to secure them from far, far away. But the money can be managed better when you're in the same city. Right? But it's all about self-defense, right? Yeah.
Where the money is.
You hear that? American policy directly affects the death toll of this people. And I'm not saying that to shame anybody. The only ones I want to shame is everybody in the American government. Every single last one. But never the people that are being fooled by their own government, that are being lied to by their own government. Jeder Cent, der aus Amerika nach Israel gebracht wird, ist mit dafür verantwortlich, dass Menschen in Palästina sterben. Und auch Deutschland hat Israel ein U-Boot, ich weiß nicht, ein U-Boot oder ein Flugzeug. Eine Sache, die man im Gaza-Krieg gegen die Palästinenser verwendet hat, wurde aus Deutschland geschickt. Okay? Also nur als kleine Side-Information. Right. Right. Share this video. Please, everybody. Share, 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 share. Weiterteilen, weiterteilen auf Instagram, auf Facebook. Es ist mir eigentlich egal an was. Aber teilen, teilen, teilen. Weil, ehrlich, Leute, da draußen ist viel, viel, viel Missinformation. Viele Leute haben keine Ahnung. Viele Leute danken sich bei mir. Weil die sagen, sowas, das habe ich noch nie vorher gehört. Und ich denke mir, wie geht das? Aber ich muss das akzeptieren, dass jeder anders aufgewachsen ist. Jeder andere Interessen hat. Und wie gesagt, die Manipulation hat ja stattgefunden und findet statt jeden Tag. Deswegen mache ich niemandem einen Vorwurf, der offen ist, sich die Wahrheit anzuhören. Aber jeder, der so tut, als ob ich das Problem wäre und immer noch steht und Israel verteidigt, nachdem wir so viele tote Kinder gesehen haben, don't come into my face. Just don't. So share, please, everybody. Impunity despite killing. And this is what I'm speaking about. Now, this is what I'm speaking about. Die Menschen werden gerade wach. Die Menschen werden wach. Die Menschen haben keinen Bock mehr auf die Lügen. The people are waking up. They are waking up and they are saying, you don't give me nothing and you lie to me. It's enough.
We must condition aid to Israel on compliance with international human rights and end the apartheid.
An American congresswoman is crying on the floor. Have you ever seen any emotions in that hall? Like,
Tide.
Sadly, tragically, in Israel, through Bibi Netanyahu, you have a reactionary racist who is now running that country.
this picture is so interesting. Did you hear what he just said? Hat gerade gesagt, dass Benjamin Netanyahu ein Rassist ist. Hat ihn als Rassisten benannt, was ja die Wahrheit ist. Und was mögen die nicht? Die Wahrheit, genau. So what he just said is that the so-called minister of the so-called country Israel is a racist, which is true, right? This second, I knew that Bernie Sanders will never be candidate for president, although everybody wanted to vote for him. And guess who knew that too? Right here, your president, Mr. Joe Biden himself. Look at the calm in his face. He knew that Bernie is just kicking himself out. He knew it. And go do your research. And I'll bet you it was after this clown show that they all came together and decided that now this racist, this little racist is going to be the next racist president. It was this second when Bernie Sanders, and he is a Jew himself. That is why I'm telling you, Judaism has nothing to do with Zionism. They called him an anti-Semite. You understand? Er wurde als Antisemit beschimpft, dabei ist er Jude. Versteht ihr jetzt, dass Judentum und Zionismus nichts miteinander zu tun haben? Nichts.
And I happen to believe,
Die dürfen nicht klatschen. Remember, they're not really allowed to clap. But when Bernie Sanders spoke, the hall was vibrating. Because he was back in his senses then, but it's a different issue now. But that's another topic for another day.
that what our foreign policy in the Mideast should be about is absolutely protecting the independent.
Look how they all look on the floor. Like, oh my God, is he really saying what I think he's saying? So not even as a Jew, you are allowed to criticize Israel. So that should delete the lies in your head. Wer jemals gedacht hat, dass das mit Judentum und Islam zu tun hat, herzlichen Glückwunsch. You've been bombazzled. And you've been bamboozled. Congratulations. And they prove it to you and you still don't want to see it. Es ist ja nicht so, als ob ich das heimlich gefunden hätte, das Video. Das hat doch jeder gesehen. Und trotzdem glaubt ihr die Lügen. Warum? Weil es ungemütlich wäre, wenn man es nicht tut. Weil dann müsste man sich ja anfangen, mit der Wahrheit zu beschäftigen. Und die tut ja bekanntlich weh. Man denkt immer, die Sprichwörter sie werden einfach nur so erfunden. Learn the meanings of your words, people. Know which words to use because you need to call everything by its name. That can save lives. Literally, it can save lives.
And security of Israel. But you cannot ignore the suffering of the Palestinian people.
That's it. Er hat noch nicht mal irgendwas Schlimmes gesagt. Es war ja noch nicht mal schlimm. Aber das reicht schon. The slightest criticism of Israel is enough for you to be pushed into a corner, beaten down, and then vanished from public eye, from anyone. And when you're lucky, you survive that. You want to tell me you believe in God and you believe in evil, but you don't believe that? Then what is evil? Where is evil then? Do you think it's in the forest? Do you think it's in the jungle? It's on a tree? Okay, so we watched this video now. Wir haben uns jetzt das Video angeguckt und da wurde ja ganz viel geredet über Selbstverteidigung und es wurde ja geschrieben, was in Wirklichkeit passiert, nämlich überhaupt gar keine Selbstverteidigung. Und hat uns ein bisschen gezeigt, was in Amerika passiert. Wir werden das jetzt mal ein bisschen auseinandernehmen. Okay, so, also, the question is, does Israel really have a right to defend itself? And the answer is yes. Everybody has the right to defend yourself. The next question is, what does self-defense mean? Self-defense means that you are allowed by force to keep any harm away from you or anybody related to you or near you that you want to protect in the immediate time that the immediate danger happens to you. For example, if somebody comes and attacks you, you are allowed to punch him back. But after you punched him back and he's laying on the floor, you are not allowed to go and stab him to death, cut his head off, throw it in a bin, and burn his body. Am I right or am I lying? Please write in the chat if I'm lying. And write me in the chat if I'm right. Until I translate it in German. Wir haben also jetzt die Frage gestellt, hat Israel ein Recht auf Selbstverteidigung? Und die Antwort ist ja. Jeder hat das Recht auf Selbstverteidigung. Die nächste Frage muss immer sein, was bedeutet Selbstverteidigung? Selbstverteidigung bedeutet, dass du im Augenblick einer immensen Gefahr, ist es dir erlaubt, mit Gewalt oder wie auch immer diese Gefahr in der Sekunde, wo es passiert, von dir zu weichen. Wenn du also geboxt wirst und du boxst zurück und der Typ liegt auf dem Boden, dann ist die Selbstverteidigung hier beendet. Jetzt renn! Beziehungsweise, wenn er natürlich noch steht, so lange, bis er auf dem Boden liegt. Aber wenn er jetzt auf dem Boden liegt, darf man jetzt diesen Mann erstechen, komplett alles klein, klein, klein und dann noch in den Mülleimer werfen, am besten noch den Rest verbrennen. Ist das dann erlaubt und wird das dann noch Selbstverteidigung genannt? Okay? So, we said that Israel is allowed to defend themselves. Now, what do you need for self-defense? What does Israel have for self-defense? Israel has the so-called Iron Dome, which is the best defense system in the world. In the world. Okay? Selbstverteidigung ist in diesem Falle der Iron Dome. Das ist das beste Verteidigungssystem, das es auf dieser Erde gibt. Gut finanziert von Amerika. So, Israel has the Iron Dome. Ich werde euch jetzt diesen Iron Dome zeigen und was er so Schönes macht. Und dann möchte ich, dass ihr hört, you remember that you heard the scream and the cries of the Palestinian people, right? So now I want you to listen if you hear the same fear when this happens. So what you see allegedly, okay, allegedly is the Hamas rockets. Was wir hier angeblich sehen, sind die Hamas-Raketen. Und jetzt schauen wir mal, was passiert, wenn diese Raketen über Tel Aviv oder was auch immer, was für eine gestohlene Stadt das hier ist, passiert, okay? Let's go. You see, every rocket is being caught. Everyone. It's like a little light game. All right? So all I heard was the siren. I didn't hear no fear. I didn't hear no screams. Why didn't we hear that? Because they know that they are all right. They know that. They are okay. All right? Das Einzige, was ich gehört habe, war die Sirene. Ich habe keine Kinder schreien hören. Ich habe keine Frauen schreien hören. Ich habe keine Männer schreien hören. Ich habe nur diese Sirenen schreien hören. Warum? Weil sie wissen, sie sind sicher. Wacht aus eurer Märchenwelt auf. Wacht aus eurer Märchenwelt auf. Evil is real and it exists and it makes you comfortable. It's easy to become evil because being evil means having a comfortable life when you reach that side. That's why so many people who are not even evil in their hearts decide to go the evil way. Because it's more comfortable. They don't want to have no stress. Jeder Mensch, jeder von uns ist in der Lage, sich für das Böse zu entscheiden. Vor allem, weil die Angebote des Bösen immer so verlockend sind und das Leben so einfach ist, wenn man auf dieser Seite erstmal angekommen ist. Aber der Mensch bleibt immer noch ein Mensch. Und wer das nicht so sieht, der weiß, dass er ein Problem hat. Und wenn er das nicht weiß, dann muss er ganz tief in sich reingehen. Denn da ist ein Problem. So I have another one. Wo sind sie denn, die schönen, schönen? Hier, Israel's Iron Dome System. You haven't seen anything? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm going to play it again. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the Iron Dome. So these are the rockets allegedly from Hamas. Okay, allegedly. And look what happens. So basically what this is a spectacular light event. Okay? They celebrate these events. They come up all together as a family and drink whatever they drink. So basically, this is the most expensive defense system that exists on this planet. So when we speak about self-defense and when we speak about rockets that come allegedly from Hamas, then does this not look like self-defense to you? Does this not look like self-defense to you? To me, it does. To me, it does. Die Selbstverteidigung findet hier gerade statt. Ein kleines, schönes Lichterspektakel. Hört ihr die Menschen? There is nobody screaming. There is nobody crying. Okay? There is no fear. As you heard in my previous shows and what you're going to hear in a minute, the sheer fear in the kids' eyes and voice. I don't hear that here. I do not hear it here. The other one was this. I'm going to let it just play and just check the chat for a minute. I need to calm down. I know, ich muss mich beruhigen. Ich weiß. Let's go. Hey, Rella. Of course you are mine, because you the shit. So does anybody hear screaming or shouting or fear? Or do you only hear the siren that they want to sell to the world? Whenever you hear this, that means danger. But I can now play a siren in my house right now. I could play it. Yes, people do things just to appear something. Yes, that happens. Yes. So when we speak about self-defense, this is what Israel calls self-defense. This is what happens, and this is their answer. And this is not just how do you call it, hypothetically? It's literally. Das nennt Israel Selbstverteidigung. Das ist, was passiert, das angeblich von Hamas. Okay? Und das ist die Antwort darauf. And as I said, when somebody beats you, are you allowed to defend yourself by beating him down to the ground and then run? Or is self-defense getting rid of the person as a whole? And not only the person, no, the whole city that person lives in. We're going to get rid of the whole city because you beat me. Not to even mention that the balance, but we're gonna get to that. So okay. So we know now that self-defense, the claim of self-defense stops right here. Right here. So everything else that happens from now on is no self-defense no more. It is overkill. Die Selbstverteidigung hört hier auf. Hier hört die Selbstverteidigung auf. Alles andere ist übertriebene Gewalt. Übertriebene, brutale, barbarische Gewalt, die nicht nur einem Menschen, sondern einem ganzen Volk zur gleichen Zeit angetan wird. An was erinnert euch das? When a whole ethnic group is discriminated again and is being isolated and is being killed, how do you call that? And what does it remind you of? And we have two examples on both continents. Here in Germany and over there in America, the same old. The only thing these people have in common is their fascism and their racism and their Zionism. So it's nothing new what I'm telling you here. And it shouldn't surprise you. So, okay, when we said they already defend themselves with the Iron Dome, wenn wir sagen, hat sich schon selbst verteidigt, die haben sich schon selbst verteidigt mit dem Iron Dome, dann müssen wir doch weiter gucken. Was spricht denn noch dagegen, dass es keine, oder dagegen, dass es Selbstverteidigung ist? Was spricht also dafür, dass es keine Selbstverteidigung ist? So what does, apart from self-defense being over, speaks for everything that happens not being self-defense, even if they didn't have the Iron Dome? Okay, so the exceeding casualties that come from the Palestinian side is not even comparable to the casualties on the other side. So by definition, you must know that this is no war. This is an ethnic cleansing. But you don't believe me? No problem. Ein anderer Grund dafür, dass es nicht für Selbstverteidigung spricht, ist die Zahl der Toten. Jeder Tote ist ein Toter zu viel. Aber irgendwann müssen wir anfangen, uns die Zahlen anzugucken. Das ist keine Selbstverteidigung. Self-defense was not done from right to left, but it was done from left to right. Surprise. Wir verteidigen uns. Wir versuchen zu überleben. And mind you, the casualties here, they are not being killed all by Palestinians. Oh, hell no. They count those casualties, for example, if some bomb explodes and an Israeli dies there, then that means they have a casualty. So in my eyes, you can count even their casualties onto our side, because every Jew and every Christian and every Muslim that lived on this country was a Palestinian. Okay, so the exceeding numbers of the casualties is not even remotely close. Okay, we understood that. All right. So now we said this might be a reason for it not to be self-defense. Wir haben jetzt also die Zahlen uns angeguckt und jetzt wissen wir, sieht nicht so wirklich aus wie Selbstverteidigung. But that is not even all. Okay, if the Iron Dome is not enough for you, and then you see that how many people of us you kill, and it's still not enough for you. Let's continue. Let's look at the power balance that we as a people speak about. Yeah, we like to always discuss things that we don't know nothing about. Let's check it out. What do we actually talk about? I'm going to try to zoom it. La, la, la. We've been singing that for years, maybe. Yeah, for years. We already knew. When we saw Bush Senior, we knew. Okay? And everything from there was no surprise. So, okay. Jetzt gucken wir uns mal an, die Power, die Machtverhältnisse zwischen diesen angeblichen zwei Parteien. Weil es wird ja immer verstanden als zwei Parteien, die sich bekämpfen. Aber in Wahrheit wird eine Partei ausschließlich bekämpft. Versteht ihr? Thanks, Rello. Hi. How you doing? I appreciate you being here. Who's here? Let's see. Bossy's here. Arello is here. Yup. My people in the house. Und meine deutschen People natürlich auch. Was geht ab? Hello. Ja, das ist leider unsere Realität. Da sagst du was, Hamlume, ey. Da sagst du was, du. So, okay, let's continue. We want to check the what? The power balance. Okay, so when we speak about two parties that are fighting each other, two parties must have tools to fight, right? Okay, so let's check. Palestine, whoops, we have no army. What? Palestina hat keine Armee. Okay, let's see what Israel has. Israel ground forces, 513,000 personal civilian, whatever technology, whatever. Okay, so more than us. Way more. What else? Wir haben auch keine Navy. Das sind die, die in den Meeren ihre schönen weißen Anzüge anhaben. Und dann sind sie ganz stolz darauf, dass sie Soldaten sind und unschuldige Menschen umbringen wollen. Oh, we don't have no Navy. So I just explained what the Navy is in German. Israel has, oh wow, 20,000. Wow. Palestine has no Air Force. Das ist natürlich von oben, ne? Die Verteidigung von oben. Oh, what does Israel have? 89,684 aircrafts, including some Shyhawk, whatever. The warmongers know what that means. So this kills, this kills, this kills, this kills. Everything that you read here has no other reason to exist but to kill. Okay? So the military budget of Palestine is what? $0 Okay? Oh, and on top of all what they already have, they also have weapons of mass destruction. So just for everybody out there to know, when you look at Iran and say, you evil, you have nuclear weapons. But you have nuclear weapons. That don't count. That don't count. I told you have nuclear weapons. I said it first. You can't say it after I said it. So wer also auf den Iran guckt und irgendwas zu meckern hat und auf Amerika guckt und nichts zu meckern hat und auf Israel guckt und nichts zu meckern hat, der hat auch was nicht verstanden. Der hat auch was im Kopf nicht richtig. Okay? So the military budget is $0 on the Palestinian side. Let's check the Israeli side. Military budget is $20.5 billion plus 146 billion U.S. military aid to Israel to date. That's what they got from the USA, from America, for nothing. But I mean, they do their bidding. They kill us for them. That is the price. If anybody don't know, let me tell you, that is the price. No deal is for free. America said, I will only give that to you if you kill them yourselves and you don't let me have anything to do with it. So they said, all right, let's go. And that's how the deal came above. Natürlich immer sehr vereinfacht. Okay, let's continue. The GDP per capita in Palestine is $876. The military budget, the GDP per capita in Israel is $42,000, 823 in total. 42,823. I fucking hate numbers. I don't like numbers. Okay. I mean, I like them, but I don't like to say them. Don't get me wrong. Okay. So as you can see, I don't even want to go into all of it because it makes me kind of sick to my bones. But as you can see, the power balance is also not justified to call it self-defense. Okay? So we have a literal superpower funded by the U.S. tax money, $4 billion every year. We saw the deal that Obama did with them. It wasn't Trump. It was Obama. The 100 and I don't know how many billion dollars for 10 years. So It's fixed. They didn't put nothing to attach to the bill or to the contract. Okay? They gave it to them for 10 years. Let's go. Nobody had to do nothing for it. And this is paid by the American people's tax money. It's not being paid by the rich American people money. No, no, no. It's being paid by everybody else. Just for you to know. On the other side, you don't even have an army. You have only civilian peoples who live literally in an open air prison under a blockade in the entire country and have the most brutal oppressor anybody can think of. But he's not new. He's been here. He's been here before. But we just pushed it so far away from us that we think history cannot repeat itself when our history books tell us that it does. But that's also another topic for another day. Let's continue. The excessive use of force. You've seen the videos. You've seen it. Look at the numbers. Look at the comparisons. Schaut euch die Zahlen an. Tote, Verletzte, Kinder, Behinderte, zerstörte Häuser. Und ihr wollt alle so tun, als ob ihr das nicht seht? Ist das Selbstverteidigung? Hat das irgendwas mit Selbstverteidigung zu tun? These are the names of the children that were killed in the last 7 days. Look. We cannot put any name in the hashtag because it wouldn't take the space. We can't keep up. Das sind die Alter der Kinder. Das sind die Alter. Das jeweilige Jahresalter und wo die herkommen. Versteht ihr das? 2 years. Hur al-Zamali. 2 years, 1 year. Ibrahim al-Rantisi. We have a store in Jordan. It's called the Rantisi. When I read his name the first time, I literally cried. So gibt es einen Laden in Jordanien, der heißt al-Rantisi. Das ist eine Familie, die dahinter steht. Diese Familie haben Kinder und diese sterben. Und nicht nur in Gaza, wie ihr hier seht. It's not only Gaza. This is where I'm from. This is my hometown. And they kill our youth. I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen the humiliation, the powerless feeling, the anger. Ich war da. Ich habe es gesehen mit meinen eigenen Augen. Die Demütigung, die Angst in den Augen der Menschen, wenn die Soldaten um die Ecke kommen. Ihnen vorschreiben, wo sie hinzugehen haben, wann sie hinzugehen haben, mit wem sie hinzugehen haben, wie lange. They tell us where to go, when to go, with who to go, how long to go. They decide everything about our lives. But I'm the crazy one? When I say that this has already happened before? First time slavery, second World War, and this is the third time because evil is the same evil. And they try to act like slavery, segregation, Jim Crow time, races in America never existed and never exists. And they try to act like everything that happens in Palestine right now is to help the Jewish people. How can you help anybody when your child has to live under these circumstances, no matter on which side you are? How can any human being see that as help to destroy everything around you? to destroy the ground Jesus walked on. They literally bomb it. But we act like nothing is happening. Okay. When I tell you that they kill children and it's not coincidentally, do you believe me? Wenn ich sage, dass Kinder nicht aus Versehen umgebracht werden, glaubt ihr mir dann? I have been at a reading of an Israeli police guy, I don't know, something military, something, 12 in his family. Ich war auf einer Lesung von einem Israeli, der in der Armee war oder Polizist oder irgendwie sowas, irgend so eine Macht, irgend so eine Behörde. And he was talking about the defense that they do and the self-defense and the horror they go through and everything. And I sat in the back on the floor and I listened. I was 19 years old. And I listened. Ich war 19, als das passiert ist. Und einige hier im Chat waren sogar dabei. Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr dabei wart, aber ihr wart dabei an dem Tag. Und die es wissen, wissen. Okay? So I let him speak. And when he finished, I raised my hand and I wanted to ask a question. Als fertig war, habe ich aufgezeigt und wollte eine Frage stellen, denn es war offene Fragerunde. Und ich habe gefragt, warum werden Kinder erschossen, die nichts anderes als einen Stein in der Hand haben? So I asked him, why are kids being shot although they have nothing else in their hand but a stone? A what? A stone, a rocket. And he answered, he said, today they have a stone in their hand. In 10 years, it will be a weapon. And he will kill the Jewish people. And to prevent that from happening, we need to do what we need to do to defend ourselves. Hat mir eine Antwort gegeben. Hat gesagt, dieser Junge hat heute einen Stein in seiner Hand. Morgen, beziehungsweise nicht morgen, sondern in 10 Jahren, hat er gesagt, wird das eine Waffe sein, mit der er jüdische Menschen umbringen wird. Um das zu verhindern, tun wir, was wir tun müssen, um uns selber zu verteidigen. So if anybody tells me that they don't kill us on purpose, so we don't have the chance to grow up, so we don't have the chance to have a voice anymore, so that they don't have to take care of the old people because they're going to die, naturally with all this stress and the trauma and the horror. And when the youth is gone and the old generation is gone, then we are all gone. And this is what they really want. And I'm also going to show that to you. I hope I'm going to find it today. If not today, I will show everything to you. Also wer noch von Selbstverteidigung redet, bitte, bitte, geh schlafen, bitte. Und bleib am besten auch am Schlafen. So, was haben wir denn noch? So we already said that they kill children. They use excessive force. They destroy entire buildings. Entire buildings they destroy. They make it seem as if a building is a chair. That's how they make it seem. So you can all sit home and feel good about what has been said on the lie media. So, okay, what did I want to show? Oh, yeah, the destroyed houses. I don't know if I have it here, but I'm going to have it later, definitely. So, I don't have it here. But you've seen it in one of the other shows. Anyway, so we already cleared all of that. The media destroys the narrative. So when Israel attacks a media outlet that does speak out the truth, nobody comes for their defense. Although the media is trying to sell us that the most important thing in their life is freedom of speech and the right of press. But they are lying to you, because they mean the freedom of speech of my opinion. Me being the Zionist, the racist, the fascist. Freedom of speech does not mean having any opinion. Freedom of speech means you have to have their opinion. Because the building collapsed completely. It went to the ground. And it was an Al Jazeera office in there. And they explained it with this ridiculous claim that in this building did one guy, this guy allegedly, of course, everyone is dead, so you can never ask anybody if anything is true. This guy allegedly worked in that building. So they were justified to delete and destroy the whole building. So they make fun of somebody who says, yes, of course, I knew Mr. Anwar. He worked on the 4th floor, but it never occurred to me to ask him what he did for a living. You know, like, people don't do that. And they mocked him. This is a Zionist side. And they were like, oh, yeah, of course, you don't know what they did. Of course I don't know, because he didn't do it. Because he didn't. I haven't seen it. He's not going to do it in front of me. But they let you believe that we know each and everybody who identifies with Hamas, and we know them by name, and we hide them and they use us as living shields. That's what they keep telling you. That's what they keep telling you. Hamas uses their people, their own people, as a shield. So they are responsible for all them poor Palestinians who die. But I never see no Hamas. Nowhere. Nowhere. I see families. I see children. I see women. I see desperate men. Every man out there knows that the most horrific thing that somebody can take off you is your dignity and your honor and your integrity. But everything has been taken off these men. So they feel humiliated. So they don't have no energy to fight and to resist. But we will never give up. As I keep telling you, if the men give up, the Palestinian women are strong. We are ready. We were born for this. Our children are ready. They were born for this. So we need the world to wake up and to help us, because you don't even need to do nothing. Just stop the selling of these weapons. Stop the shipment of these weapons. Stop the building of these weapons. Stop it. No job is worth it for a human being to die. The people in Yemen are dying because of weapons from America. People in Iraq died because of it. People in Afghanistan died because of it. People in Israel died because of it. It's enough. It's enough. Wir müssen aufhören, diese Kriegssprache gut zu heißen. Wir sind in 2021 und es gibt immer noch Bomben. Sag mal, wollt ihr mich alle veräppeln? Wir sind in 2021 und es fallen immer noch Bomben auf diese Erde und wir sprechen von der friedlichsten Zeit, von Frieden. There's never been no peace on this planet. There's never been a peacetime. And it all has the same reason. the fascist, racist, Zionist evil that comes from one certain part of this world and spread to the whole world. And it's still today, 2021, and we watch bombs raining down on this planet in Yemen, in Palestine, in so many other countries. There are grenades and bullets and fights. And it's all made in the USA. I cannot feel good for the people in America because I know you don't want that. I cannot feel good yet because we need to say something. We need to oppress the oppressor finally. I'm going to show you, by the way, I'm going to show you videos from East Jerusalem. They deal with a different problem. See, Gaza deals with bombs, but East Jerusalem deals with police violence. And I'm going to prove to you that when I say they have the same teacher, and when I tell you they go to the same schools and take the same trainings, then believe me when I say that, because it's the same. I'm sorry, but this is... So one person that allegedly did something that nobody can ask is reason enough to destroy a whole building. So now we've spoken about that the self-defense argument is total bullshit. What they do is ethnic cleansing. What they do is they commit a genocide. What they do is they commit mass murderers. What they do is they commit the biggest war crimes, and we're not even speaking about stealing the land. We are not even speaking about material things, property, anything, because what? We want to breathe. And does that sound familiar too? When I tell you I can't breathe, get off my neck. I can't breathe. Und auf der deutschen Seite seht ihr auch keine Parallelen. Wenn Phosphorbomben auf Gaza runter fließen. Ein Gas. Was ist das, wenn nicht dasselbe, was den Menschen in Auschwitz passiert ist? Wenn wir eingetrichtert sind in Gaza, Gaza ist eingemauert. Niemand kommt rein, niemand kommt raus. Wo ist der Unterschied? Where is the difference between an open-air prison, which is Gaza, and the Auschwitz camps? The concentration camps that were in Auschwitz. Where is the damn difference? But okay, I'm going to leave it here. Okay, I'm going to leave it here. So self-defense is out the window. So nobody ever speak about self-defense in front of me ever again. The only people who deserve self-defense is the Palestinian people. You know why? Because Israel just don't care. And they have proven it to us time and time and time and time again. Trust your eyes. Use your brain. Der Einzige, der verdient hat, sich zu verteidigen, ist und wird immer bleiben Palästina. Ist und wird immer bleiben Palästina. Israel interessiert es überhaupt nicht, was abgeht. I'm going to show you what the International Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International and UN and all of them, which we claim are there to secure the world, right? So we're going to see what they say, and then we're going to see that everybody agrees, apart from guess who? From guess who? Die einzigen, die dagegen sind, was die UNESCO sagt, was Human Rights Watch sagt, was Amnesty International sagt, sind wer? Ratet. Ratet, ihr dürft es in den Chat schreiben. Ihr dürft schreiben, wer ist wohl immer dagegen, dass man Israel Kriegsverbrechen vorwirft, dass man Israel verbietet, seine Siedlungen weiterzubauen, dass man Israel sagt, hör auf mit dem Mist, den du da machst. To forbid them to keep continuing building settlements. To forbid them to kill people. Guess who's against Palestinian people to live? Guess who's against that? Sorry, I got distracted. Oh my God, I'm on fire. Literally, I'm burning. I'm burning. Oh. Okay, wir gucken uns jetzt die Menschenrechtsorganisationen. Oh, guck mal, das Wort ist mir sogar eingefallen. Die haben immer so schöne Wörter für alles. Das hört sich immer alles so toll an. Interessieren tut es nur leider niemanden. Schade. Hätte mich echt gefreut. Ja, komm. Jetzt reagiert der hier nicht. Wohin mit mir? Also, was wollten wir jetzt? Ach ja. Human rights. Human rights. Human rights are supposed to be for everyone, right? Guess not. Does that sound familiar? Dass Menschenrechte eigentlich für jeden gelten sollen, aber wir wissen alle, dass es nicht so ist. Kommt euch das irgendwie bekannt vor? Okay. Wollte nur kurz fragen. So. Wir fangen mal an mit wem? Überraschung. Jetzt muss mein Internet nur noch mitmachen. Also, wir haben hier die United Nations, okay? The current violence in Gaza and Israel only perpetuates the cycle of death, destruction, and despair, and pushes farther away to the horizon any hopes of coexistence and peace. Fighting must stop immediately. So that's the United Nations opinion. Let's see what Amnesty International says. Israel's systemic discrimination, dispossession, and displacement of Palestinians is at the root of the ongoing violence that we see today. Amnesty International gibt der Diskriminierung, der systematischen Diskriminierung, der Vertreibung und der verschiedenen Behandlungen der Palästinenser den Grund für die Wurzel aller Gewalt, die in Palästina abgeht. So they agree too. Now let's see, what is this? So we have the Human Rights Watch. So the Human Rights Watch did something that has never happened before. And that is claim that Israel is an apartheid state. Das heißt, the Human Rights Watch, whatever, it's so far away from Palestinians that we're not accustomed to that word. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Almost all responses by Israeli, also die Human Rights Watch hat Israel als Apartheidstaat ausgerufen. Das erste Mal haben die offiziell gesagt, Junge, was da abgeht, ist Apartheid. Okay? So, ich hoffe jetzt, dass ihr es versteht, weil ich kann das jetzt nicht auch noch alles wieder übersetzen. Almost all responses by Israeli officials and their supporters to HRW's recent report on crimes of apartheid and persecution have tried to change the topic, often by name-calling. Almost none have engaged on the merits. Das heißt also, das Thema Apartheid wurde von den Beteiligten so gut wie möglich ignoriert und so gut wie möglich beiseite geschoben. Niemand hat sich wirklich dafür interessiert, darüber mal zu reden. We documented an intent by Israeli authorities to maintain the domination by Jewish Israelis over Palestinians across Israel and occupied territory using their control over land and demographics to pursue a policy in effect of maximum land and minimal Palestinians. Das heißt also, die haben dokumentiert, dass der Sinn hinter Israel ist, all seine Macht zu gebrauchen, um maximal Land zu gewinnen und minimal Palästinenser am Ende noch zu haben. Okay? So. We found that Israeli authorities, pursuant to this intent, have erected two-tiered system across Israel and the authorities. So I can't read this. Methodology, whatever, okay? Privileging Jewish Israels and discriminating to varying degrees against Palestinians. The means used in the authorities amount to systemic oppression. So they say in it, and they even say the word apartheid. Our apartheid finding is based on one, a policy pursued by Israel's authority across Israel. And we're going to read now what in particular they mean. So what do we have here? We have Palestinian citizens of Israel, 1.6 million. Occupied Palestinian territory, everything you see black. West Bank ID holders, that was the 2.7 million people. They hold the pass, but they're not allowed to decide any big election. So don't get it twisted, okay? So in total, we are about 7 million, okay? East Jerusalem has 0.4, that means 400,000 residents. That's it. That's it. Gaza is 2.1 million people. Can you see the size of Gaza? And can you see the size of this? Do you see that what is happening here is ethnic cleansing? Do you see that? Do you see that? It makes me angry. That's why sometimes I need to speak like this for me not to go completely crazy. So don't think I'm being like cocky or something. I'm just, okay. Also, hier das Grüne ist Gaza. Das Rote ist, guck mal, 128 Millionen, tausendfach so groß. Und trotzdem sind fast genauso viele Menschen hier wie hier. Und wer nicht sieht, dass das ein Konzentrationslager ist, der hat was mit seinen Augen. Ist ganz schlimm, ist nicht gut, ihr müsst zum Arzt. Okay, so you must intend to dominate. If you want to have an apartheid, you must intend to dominate. Also, um Apartheid etwas als Apartheid benennen zu können, müssen bestimmte Elemente drin sein. Das erste Element ist die Intention einer Gruppe, eine andere Gruppe zu dominieren. Das ist die erste Intention. The second one is systemic oppression. To maintain the domination of Jewish Israeli authorities structurally. How can I stop this? It doesn't move. Oh, okay, I can stop it. All right, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't want that. Okay. So to maintain the domination of Jewish Israelis, Israeli authorities structurally discriminate against Palestinians throughout the areas where Israel exercises control. That means the whole land, the whole country, because they have control over every single bit of this country. Allegedly, that's what they think. But because they have the bigger power, we can't really tell them no. I mean, we tell them no, but they don't really listen. Das heißt also, der zweite Punkt, das erste war die Intention einer Gruppe, eine andere Gruppe zu dominieren. Das zweite, systematische Unterdrückung einer Rassengruppe über eine andere. Und hier ist jeder, der nicht jüdisch ist, eine andere Rasse. Okay? Did nobody ask what happens to the Palestinian Christians? Does nobody ask what happens to them? And to the Palestinian Jews? And don't you see that these are then the people who were prioritized in the Palestinian rank? So in the discrimination, they were discriminating again, so that the Christians wouldn't like the Muslim no more, the Muslim wouldn't like the Jew no more, and now all we hate each other. Although we were all from the same country, we all share the same blood. The only difference is the religion. Hat sich nie jemand gewundert, warum es denn nie über palästinensische jüdische Mitbewohner oder palästinensische christliche Mitbewohner irgendetwas gemeckert wird? Und habt ihr denn nicht euch gedacht, dass das diese Zahl ist? Hier, wo ist sie denn jetzt? Nee, du... No. I'm going to show you now. This is important. 9. So where is it? Where was this 2.7 million da? So. Here. The ones that have a bit of rights, so they can discriminate against each other. So now we fight each other. And does this sound familiar to anybody? I mean, if you don't see that this is the same, then I don't know what to say no more. Das sind die Menschen, die dann besser behandelt wurden, damit die hier und die hier dazwischen komplett ignoriert werden, damit man sich den Rücken kehren kann, damit man sagen kann, ja, mich meinen die ja nicht. Zu mir sind die ja nett. I don't have no problem with him. I don't have no problem with them. They're nice to me. So as long as it doesn't affect me, why should I care, right? That's what they taught us. That's how they manipulated us for ages, for decades. And that's what works. So they don't even have to do the whole work themselves. We help them. We are good helpers when it comes to that. Okay, also. Dann brauchst du noch einen dritten Punkt, und das ist einen oder mehrere Taten gegen die Menschenrechte. Eine Tat gegen die Menschenrechte sind zum Beispiel einen Mensch das Recht zu nehmen, in seine Heimat zurückzukommen. Das ist ein Beispiel. So the third point of being in apartheid is you must be guilty of at least one inhumane act that is against, against humanity. For example, forbidding a person the right to come back to their home country. Also, to take their property without any legal documentation. Also, to create separate and segregated ghettos. And all of this is happening in Palestine. So they don't only make one point clear, they make all of them clear. So it is an apartheid by definition, not my definition, but their own definition. Because it's stated in the Constitution that the Jews have more rights than anybody. And unfortunately, they bamboozled the people by thinking that they really mean the Jewish faith. So yes, Israel is an apartheid. I say that. The world says that. Amnesty International says that. Human Rights Watch says that. Everybody says that. The only one who does not say that is America and Israel. Like, does anybody see where the problem is? Okay, so now we said they are not defending themselves, and it is an official, hello, Ibn Battuta. It is an official apartheid. We can agree on that now. And you can argue with anybody who wants, and they will tell you the same. So there is no ground for Israel to go and do what they do And the only thing that I'm now going to do, I wanted to make it a bit longer, but this is going to take too long. So I'm going to make another show on all the other topics. Ich werde alles noch besprechen, aber heute ist das alles zu viel. Es ist ein bisschen spät. Ich brauche immer ein bisschen länger, als ich mir das so vorstelle in meinem Kopf. So, die einzige Sache, die ich jetzt noch zeigen will, ist einfach nur, was in Gaza gestern passiert ist und was in Sheikh Jarrah gestern passiert ist. Dazu schauen wir uns ausschließlich die Stories von 2 Menschen an, die dort in diesen Orten leben. Einfach nur, was haben die gesehen, ohne Kommentar. Manchmal steht da was, aber wir gucken es uns an. So we're going to check now what happened in Palestine yesterday in Gaza and in Sheikh Jarrah. And I'm going to show you that on the story of 2 people that live in these areas. And yeah, then we're going to come back. Okay, how to do that? Like, I'm really not good on desktop IG. Like, I'm a phone type, you know? So how to do that now? What do I want to do? I want to go to my profile. No, I don't want to go to my profile. I want to go here. Yup. Okay, so this is the guy that I showed you yesterday, Casanova. And how to do that now? How to do that? Okay, so it's not showing the way I wanted it, and it did show it the last time. Why it's not showing now? So, wir gucken uns jetzt erstmal Gaza an. Und dann, einen Moment. Das nervt mich jetzt. Okay, 6 Stunden, 8 Stunden, 9 Stunden. Where is it? So this is last night, okay? This is last night. I'm going to share my screen in a minute. Okay. So let's check. Right. Where are the sanctions against the war criminal and against the war crimes and against the murder of children? Where is it? Does it sound familiar again? So, okay, let's go. So this happened last night. So this is last night, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is Gaza. I hope you can see it. Sagt mir mal bitte, ob ihr das im Chat, ob ihr das gut sehen könnt und auch hören könnt. This is yesterday. This is Gaza. This is yesterday, in the night, and he is recording it live. This is what they see. This is what they see. Is anybody listening? Is anybody watching? Das ist das, was die sehen. Das ist deren Aussicht. Das ist, was die sehen, wenn die aus dem Fenster gucken. Sie dürfen aber nicht wegrennen. Oh nein. They can't run. Kills Palestinian Arab Muslims, and he's asking the Muslim world, where are you? What are you going to tell your God? What are you going to tell him? What is every human being going to tell his God and his prophet? Because all the 3 prophets are going to have a lot of questions. Trust on that one. They're going to have a lot of questions. Look. Das nennen die Selbstverteidigung. Aber das haben wir ja gerade ausgeschlossen. abgeschlossen. Die Apartheid arbeitet gerade. Der Massenmord funktioniert gerade. Das ist, was man Tag sieht und das ist, was man Nacht sieht. Es brennt am nächsten Tag. I'm not even gonna play it. Because I think we saw enough. We don't need to watch anything that triggers. Western people and rulers and presidents, imagine this was your child. Imagine this is your son. They kill both adults and children and demolish homes while they are sleeping. This is really happening. Das passiert wirklich, Leute. Das ist kein Photoshop hier. Das ist kein Photoshop. I need you to be uncomfortable. Ich möchte, dass ihr euch schlecht fühlt. Nicht, weil ich will, dass es euch schlecht geht, sondern weil ihr dann erst die Kraft finden könnt, etwas dagegen zu tun. Wir können alle etwas dagegen tun. BDS boykottiert alles, was aus diesem Land kommt. America, please wake up. Please demand from your government not to pay Israel no money no more. Every single person out there, der für Waffen arbeitet oder Waffen verliefert oder Waffen entgegennimmt, every single person out there, please share this video. We stand with you. We stand with everybody that is brave enough to stand up and to speak the truth. The people in Italy, they stopped a whole ship with the containers that had weapons that were supposed to be used on Gaza, and they resisted. They said, no, not with us. No. And the world is celebrating. I'm going to show you in a minute. Let me just finish this, please. See, we don't even have any streets that they drive on. It's all rubber. It's all rubble. It's nothing. There is no streets. There is no infrastructure. There is nothing. And after they do this, after they bombed this, they killed 2 doctors yesterday. They kill our youth on purpose. Then they make a bomb. They know we don't have no nurses and first aid people, and we just take what we have. So our doctors are in the ambulances to be able to help immediately. And then they bombed another one. So they now all tracked. Now, in the best case, they all die. So they want us to not be treated after we are wounded. They want us to die slowly. And this is real. Die bringen unsere Ärzte extra um. Die bringen unsere Kinder extra um. Damit wir nicht versorgt werden können. Damit wir langsam sterben. Wenn wir es nicht schnell geschafft haben. This is real, people. Das passiert wirklich. This is their reality. This is their daily life. Daily, every day. While we drink and eat and do other things. Jeden Tag sehen die das. Jeden Tag. I'm sorry, maybe it's too loud. But how can anybody see that and not go crazy? How? Wer kann sich das angucken und immer noch sagen, ja, aber? Wer? Und Karma wird kommen. Auf jeden Fall. Und Allah hört zu und er sieht alles. Das ist kein Leben. Nein. Aber laut israelischen und amerikanischen Angaben ist das Selbstverteidigung. According to America and Israel, this is self-defense, what you just seen. So I'm not ready to also see all of this because it's enough. I don't need to see that anymore. These people are traumatized. These people are traumatized forever. They have no money. They have no food. They have nothing to drink. They have no job. They have no family. They have no house. They have no property. They have no nothing. But we have our faith and we have the knowledge that we are right. And that is why you see the strength to continue, to go on, to not give up against all odds. These are the products that you can boycott. That's them. This is Lay's. Don't eat. It's poison anyway to eat all of this. Das ist sowieso Gift, das alles zu essen. Und die Chips waren die Lay's Chips. Gestern konnten wir ihn nicht erreichen. Er war nicht mehr erreichbar. We couldn't reach him yesterday. He was gone. And we were all worried. We didn't know what happened to him. But the electricity cut off, of course. They didn't have no power on the phones no more because they decide when to bring anything back. Plus, they bomb everything that is there already. So he's okay. Thanks to God, thanks to Allah that he's okay. He says, I'm out of words. I can't say nothing anymore. Er sagt, er hat keine Worte mehr. Er sagt, er hat nichts mehr zu sagen. That's what I'm saying. We don't have to prove it no more. It's obvious.
يحكي أي شيء حتى لا شغل حتى لا تصوير حتى لا أي شيء ما قدرت أطلع بسبب الظروف طبعا.
He said I couldn't do nothing because of the circumstances I'm going through. No filming, no nothing because he does blogs. He vlogs or whatever you call it. Er konnte nichts tun. Nichts. Er war zu Hause eingesperrt und hat gehofft, das zu überleben.
Alhamdulillah.
And this is 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, he came online again. Vor 3 Stunden erst. Wir reden seit gestern Nacht. There is only 1 hour difference between Germany and Israel. I don't know if everybody knows. Ich weiß nicht, ob ihr das wisst. In Israel ist es jetzt 23:04 Uhr. Das ist nur 1 Stunde Unterschied. Ihr braucht mal nicht zu denken, dass wir hier irgendwie am anderen Teil der Erde leben. Okay? Das heißt, seit gestern Nacht, wann haben wir den Kontakt zu ihm verloren? Ungefähr so Mitternacht? Nee, gar nicht. Später, das war ja 3, 4. Like I was awake all night yesterday. I couldn't sleep and for other reasons and whatever. But he was lost around 4 o'clock and now he appears again 3 hours ago. But the world wants us to say, it's all right, it's okay. I mean, they have a right to defend themselves, right? We don't know from who, we don't know from what, but hey, tough shit, right?
نالوا احنا في قطاع غزة طبعا رحمة والنور لشهدائنا الأبرار وندعي السلام.
He said the amount of bodies that we have to bury are too much. We don't know what to do. There is no time for nothing else. Das Einzige, was sie den ganzen Tag tun, ist deren Shuhada beerdigen. Irgendwo einsammeln, was von denen noch übrig geblieben ist. Whatever is left out of them because their bodies are flying through the whole city.
السلامة التامة للمصابين. طبعا أنا طلعت اليوم بدي أحكي بشغلة مهمة كتير وأنوه. طبعا ما ننسى أصدقائنا حبايبنا لكل شخص اطمن علينا كل شخص.
He says, I want to thank everybody that was worried about me and that asked about me. And I know that you are all worried, but I'm sorry for not being able to come. He's even apologizing. Okay? Der entschuldigt sich gerade dafür, dass er uns Sorgen gemacht hat. Er entschuldigt sich dafür. And this is the people that they want you to believe are the monsters of this planet. When the one that bring the bombs down, and I'm going to show you how they celebrate when they do that. These are the victims is what they want you to believe.
اتصال بعت رسالة كل الشكر والاحترام له، ومني أنا شخصيا لكل شخص تضرر في الحرب ما اتصلت عليه سامحني لأنه كان عندي ظروف أقسم بالله.
He says, and everyone that has been touched by this war and everyone that has been affected by this war, and I didn't call you, please forgive me. These are the conversations that the Palestinian youth has. Das ist das, was die Palästinenser in ihrer Freizeit machen. Sie entschuldigen sich gegenseitig dafür, dass sie nicht angerufen haben, bevor sie erwischt wurden. Oder auch wenn sie noch leben, tut mir leid, wenn ich mich noch nicht gemeldet habe, aber die Umstände.
وبدي أحكي لك الحمد لله سلامتكم أهم من كل شيء، المال معوض.
Und er möchte allen sagen, die es überstanden haben, thank God that they also danke Allah, dass sie überlebt haben. So he wants to say to everybody that survived, thank God that every one of you survived. That is the most important thing. We don't need to speak to each other, but we need to know, that we are okay.
أصدقائي اللي راح خسروا محلاتهم، اللي خسروا بيوتهم، اللي خسروا.
To all my friends that lost their businesses, their houses.
كل شيء معوض.
Everything will be okay. Everything can be replaced. Only the life cannot be replaced. This is what we talk about. Jeder, der seinen Laden verloren hat, sein Geschäft, sein Business, tut mir leid. Jeder, der sein Haus verloren hat, tut mir leid. Aber das Wichtigste ist, dass wir leben. Denn das Leben ist wichtiger als alles Materielle auf dieser Erde. Das ist die palästinensische Sprache. Das ist die Sprache der palästinensischen Menschen. Nicht die Lügen, die euch die Mainstream-Media verkaufen will.
كل شيء معوض اقسم بالله، لا احنا اللي جبنا المال مش المال اللي جابنا. فانت طول ما انت بخير واهلك بخير واخواتك بخير. فقدنا اصدقاء كثير، فقدنا محلات كثير، فقدنا ناس عزيزين علينا، فقدنا بيوت.
He said we have lost so much. We have lost so many people. We've lost so many houses. Don't worry. God is going to have you. Allah has you. Allah's got your back. This is all a test. This is all a test. Every empire has fallen so far. Every single one. And we will be a glimpse in history. We will be a glimpse in history. And then, which side was each and every one standing on will be checked. It will be checked. Nobody is gonna come or is gonna get away from the Palestinian issue. Please, I believe in that with all my heart, that every single human being is responsible for this sacred land, and everybody who did not do anything, although he knew, or who just stood by, or who kept quiet, or who defended evil, will be held accountable. Maybe not on this planet, maybe not on this human planet, but everybody will be held accountable. Jeder Einzelne da draußen, der nicht auf der Seite der Palästinenser stand, sondern auf der Seite der Zionisten. Und ich meine jeden einzelnen Juden auf dieser Erde, jeden einzelnen Christen auf dieser Erde, jeden einzelnen Moslem auf dieser Erde, jeden einzelnen Atheisten auf dieser Erde. Ich meine jeden einzelnen Menschen auf dieser Erde. Wenn du nicht auf Palästinas Seite standst oder stehen wirst, weil du jetzt endlich was gelernt hast, dann wirst du zur Rechenschaft gezogen. Ich glaube da mit meinem ganzen Herzen dran. Und deswegen sind wir so, wie wir sind. Deswegen kann er da so cool reden. Ich bin viel aggressiver als er, 1000-mal aggressiver. Like I'm even more aggressive and more angry than him. But that's why we can be the way we be. Because we believe that at the end of the day, accountability will come.
فقدنا شوارع، فقدنا معالم حلوة في قطاع غزة.
sagt, wir haben ganze Straßen verloren. We have lost streets, buildings. We have lost everything.
بس ما تزعل
Don't worry. Don't get angry.
ولا تتأثر
And don't be touched by it.
لأنه اللي جاي خير إن شاء الله.
Because what is coming is going to be khair, inshallah. What is coming is going to be good, inshallah, by the grace of God. That's what the Arabic words mean, because they also sell you those words as if they are evil words, when in every language we say the same. Everybody says God is great. We say Allahu Akbar. It's just another language, but it's the same meaning. So sagt, wir haben alles verloren. Alles, aber egal wie viel du verloren hast und egal wie viele du verloren hast, vergiss nie, was kommt, ist gut. Was kommt, ist das Gute. Mit dem Willen Gottes. Immer.
دائما تفائل خير.
So, okay, that is enough of Gaza. So now I'm going to show you Sheikh Jarrah. Everybody was saying free Sheikh Jarrah, right? To even call it Jewish when it's named after a sheikh, which is somebody who goes to Mecca and hajjs and does prayers and is an imam, that is a sheikh, or even an older person, you can call him sheikh as well. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how the world can believe this not even good prepared lie. But we go to Sheikh Jarrah. I'm just going to stop it here because I need to look where it is. We need to go a bit back. Nope. I don't get it. Oh, okay, so that's the first one. So this is also Gaza. Oh no, this is Muhammad Assad. This is not even the one I'm looking for. See, they all look the same. They're all same, equally same handsome. I swear to God, this could be twins, right? And they both Muhammad. Okay. So, come on. Muhammad al-Kurd. Yep. Okay, let's go.
بقصف الأبراج العمارات السكنية العالية اللي 20 طابق و10 طوابق.
So this is East Jerusalem. And it says Israeli authority placed soldiers in front of some of our neighbor homes and they aren't letting us out of our homes without interrogation. Also, was die hier machen, ist, die Soldaten haben die Häuser der Menschen in Ostjerusalem blockiert und sie dürfen nur raus, wenn sie sich Fragen stellen der Polizei. Also nur, wenn sie bereit sind, irgendwelche Fragen zu stellen, die natürlich überhaupt keinen Sinn machen werden und nur dazu da sind, um dich zu provozieren, damit du irgendetwas machst, damit die dann einen Grund haben, dich komplett zu verprügeln und dich dann auch noch ins Gefängnis zu schmeißen. So they are not allowed to go in or out unless they do this interrogation, which is going to be useless questions, just there to provoke them, just for them to do something, just for the police to have a reason to beat them, to put them in cages. What's going on? Okay, so there's no Torah. Israeli forces are now using chemically manipulated foul-smelling, irritant waters to suppress the Sheikh Jarrah protest. So they want to force their settlers into this city. And they force the people out of their homes, but the people are not leaving their homes. Now they want to suppress this protest with chemically manipulated, foul-smelling water. Das heißt also, was passiert ist, die wollten mal wieder die Dörfer in Beschlag nehmen, wollten die Leute rausschmeißen. Die Leute haben sich nicht rausschmeißen lassen, sind jetzt eingesperrt in ihren Häusern, können weder raus noch rein. Und die Proteste, die dafür entstehen, werden jetzt unterdrückt mit chemisch manipuliertem, ekelriechenden Wasser. Und keiner sieht da ein Problem. Okay? Okay. So nobody sees a problem. So these are the same cowards that we see in America. These are the same cowards with the same trainer, with the same teacher. Is the same. Hier passiert jetzt was wir aus Amerika sehr gut kennen. Dort ist es der afroamerikanische Mensch, der pauschal als kriminell behandelt und gesehen wird. In diesem Falle ist es jeder Palästinenser, der wie ein Krimineller gesehen und behandelt wird. Bedeutet, die Polizei kann machen, was sie will, sagen, was sie will und alles ist cool. Da hinten haben wir es erkannt, dass das nicht geht. Mal gucken, wie lange es dauert, bis wir es hier erkennen. Er holt schon mal seinen Stock raus und er ist schon bereit. So, die werden alle in der Gegend rumgeschubst. Pigs. That's it. That's the only word you can use for them internationally. In America, it was the African-American person that was seen as violent, criminal, and as whatever, everything negative. In Israel is the Palestinian who's been seen and treated with the same eye, with the same mentality, and they have the same rules and immunity and allowance to do what they do. And they do train together. This is a woman that he wants to attack. Das ist eine Frau, die er jetzt angreifen will, weil sie ihm zu laut war. Das war zu nervig. Das geht nicht. Und dann will er sie angreifen. Aber weil er weiß, wir haben keine Angst, hat er viel mehr Angst in seinen Augen, als ihr gleich in ihren Augen sehen werdet. They know we're not afraid of them. And that is why you can see the fear in his eyes more than you could ever see in her eyes. That I hope you're going to see in a minute. I can't remember if you can see it. They even speak their language. They speak Hebrew. Our language is Arabic. So normally we don't speak Hebrew. Wir reden eigentlich nicht Hebräisch. Wir reden nur Arabisch. Aber die Palästinenser in Palästina haben die israelische Sprache gelernt, damit die überhaupt irgendwie ernst genommen werden. Die Israelis können zwar auch sehr viele Arabisch sprechen, aber die haben das aus anderen Gründen gemacht, damit sie uns beschatten können, damit sie verstehen, was wir sagen. That's the girl that he wanted to hit, the one that covers her hair. Das ist sie, die mit dem Kopftuch, die wollte er gerade hauen. Mit seinem Knüppel und seinem ekelstinkenden Mundgeruch, der bis hierhin riecht. Und bam, now he's ready. Let's go. This is state-sanctioned violence. This is violence ordered by the state. Der Staat Israel trainiert seine Polizisten darauf, genau das zu tun, was die da gerade tun. Das ist mit voller Absicht. Da ist kein Ausversehen dabei. She says, obviously, he's sick. Sie sagt auf Arabisch, man sieht doch, dass der nicht normal ist im Kopf. Look, look. Does this girl look afraid? Does this girl look afraid? We're not afraid. We're not afraid of them. But they are afraid of us. And it's the same. What is going on in America is the same twin. This is a twin system. The systems are, when it comes to oppression, equal. Not when it comes to domestic things. Israel treats his people way better than America treats its people. But the oppression is the same. And plus, although they treat the people better, America is still paying their money to give it to them. Nobody knows for what. But, you know, die sind ja Freunde. Dieses Mädchen, schaut euch, wie dünn die ist. Bitte. Alter, bitte. Sieht sie aus, als ob sie Angst hätte? Gar keine Angst hat sie. Überhaupt gar keine Angst hat sie. Ich werde jetzt hier nicht rumfummeln, weil ich das immer kaputt mache. Deswegen lasse ich es mal direkt. Versteht ihr? Und jetzt will er uns weg erschrecken, aber niemand hat sich bewegt und deswegen ist er wieder zurückgegangen. See, you need to watch people when they move. You need to watch what they do. He wanted to scare them, but when he saw that nobody was moving, he moved again. He moved back. See? Can you see that? He knows it makes no sense. They will never bow down to him. And so he leaves because they don't kill in East Jerusalem. See, that is the difference. These people might be Christians. That is the difference. That's why they live on streets that have, you know, houses, streets, because they do make differences. That's why they don't kill them, but they beat them. They put them in prison. Oh, yes, they do. And they still be standing there and watch. Look, look, look. This is what you call self-defense. This is what you call self-defense. This is what you call self-defense. So I've shown you what is happening in Gaza. I've shown you what is happening in Sheikh Jarrah. I've shown you that in detail and per definition, Israel is an apartheid state. I showed you that they have no legitimate reason to call what they do self-defense. I showed you all of that. And I could show you so much more, but we need to go. And I want to end this with the video. Ich habe euch jetzt alles gezeigt. Ich habe euch gezeigt, wie es in Gaza aussieht, wie es in Ostjerusalem aussieht, Sheikh Jarrah. Ich habe euch gezeigt, wie die Menschen dort leben. Ich habe euch alles gezeigt. Ich könnte noch so viel mehr zeigen, aber es wird wirklich zu spät. Ich danke jedem, der noch da ist. Ich danke jedem, der dabei war. Ich danke jedem, der das noch hört. Ich danke jedem, der das teilen wird. I want to thank everybody who's still here, everybody who has been here, everybody who is going to be here, and everybody who is going to share this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to end with a video that describes everything. No, two videos. Zwei videos, sorry, zwei. One is going to describe what I told you before, that Israel's plan started long before the Second World War. And he explains it a bit calmer than me and a bit better maybe. Also das eine Video wird sein, wo ein britischer Moderator einem Zionisten Fragen stellt. Und dann werdet ihr sehen, dass ich recht hatte, als ich gesagt habe, Israel hat schon lange vor dem Zweiten Weltkrieg den Plan begonnen, die ganze zionistische Idee überhaupt in Kraft zu setzen. Und danach habe ich noch ein Video, das das Ganze noch mal ein bisschen beschreibt. und dann sage ich noch Tschüss und dann danke ich allen, die noch da waren. And I would say, let's get this party started. So, how to do this? Wait.
On the subject of
No. So, can you see? Yep. Okay. So we ready? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Danke, 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 danke. Please share, 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 share. Bitte teilen, teilen, teilen. And then we're going to get some knowledge in a few minutes and let's go.
the Palestinians. Here's Alex in North London. Alex.
Bitte, Melly, bitte pack jetzt die Übersetzungen, wenn es geht, irgendwie in den Chat. We've prepared something. And my bestie is going to put it in a chat now. I hope so, which is going to be the German translation of what he is saying. Okay, let's go.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi George, I'm calling from North London. I've been listening to you for 3 months now.
Okay.
Never had the chance to speak to you.
Okay.
But I was just calling on. I was listening to you a couple of nights ago, and you were talking to these people, and they were saying that Israel, the Jews, did not have the right to gain Israel from the Palestinians. And I was just saying, throughout history, the Jews have been persecuted, obviously, from the Holocaust, and we were granted Israel as a result of this. And I feel that...
Granted by whom?
We're granted from Britain and other countries, granted us that.
But what right did Britain have to grant you somebody else's country?
Well, it's due because we lost 6 million people.
No. I'm not arguing about that. I'm going to come on to that. But what right did Britain have to grant you?
So now you're going to see how Zionists answer and what their talking points are, because they have like 5, 6 talking points, just as the racists have, just as every single organization has, and then they put it in every sentence. They don't answer no questions. They don't understand any word of what they try to tell them. So, definition of stupidity to me. Also fragt ihn jetzt ganz explizit, warum Briten das Recht hatte, ja hier, was für ein Recht haben die Briten, ein anderes Land einfach zu übergeben und darüber zu entscheiden? Das ist die Frage, die er stellt. Okay? Die Antwort ist...
Somebody else's country.
We had the right because we lost 6 million people.
Seine Antwort ist, weil 6 Millionen Juden gestorben sind. Das ist seine Antwort, warum ein Europäer, die in Europa die jüdischen Menschen umgebracht haben, im Mittleren Osten ein Land verschenken kann. Das ist deren Erklärung. Aber es geht weiter.
Well, yeah, I'm going to ask you for a third time. What right did Britain have to grant you...
So, he's asking him for the third time. 3-mal hat er ihn das gefragt. Okay, 3-mal. Und er sagt jedes Mal, ja, wieso? Sind doch wegen dem Zweiten Weltkrieg. Hallo?
Somebody else's country.
Well, they didn't. Well, they were giving us the right because it was they were basically gave us because of the.
But they gave you somebody else's country. That's the point I'm making, Alex. Can you deal with it?
Yeah, but the Jews have had to they've dealt with this throughout history.
Well, Alex, I don't know if you came on with a script and you can't deviate from it. Can you please answer that point?
Did you hear what he said? He said, I don't think you can deviate from the script that you have. Es ist, glaube ich, anscheinend schwierig von dir, vom Drehbuch abzuweichen. Weil du sagst die ganze Zeit das Gleiche, aber ich frage dich das gar nicht. Dazu kommen wir gleich. Also er sagt ihm gerade, deine blöden Redepunkte, die machen keinen Sinn, Kollege. Kapier das doch endlich mal. Aber er kapiert es natürlich nicht. Aber wäre ja zu schön, wenn er das kapiert.
Who's responsible for it and who should have paid and what they should have paid for it. But given that you've said Britain granted you, and you're presumably saying you because you're Jewish, somebody else's country, I'm asking you, what right did Britain have to grant you somebody else's country?
Well, Britain, you could say they didn't have a right, but they came in and dealt with us with Jews having lost all these lives, and they basically granted us this land. Okay.
Well, I see I'm getting nowhere on this, Alex. So let me deal with your overarching point. Maybe you're just.
Sagt gerade, ich sehe schon, mit dir komme ich hier nicht weit, also werden wir uns jetzt mal auf dein Thema stürzen, weil du sagst ja die ganze Zeit nichts anderes. Reden wir mal darüber. So now we want to talk to him about the point that he's keep bringing up. You know, he said, I see there's no sense in talking to you. So let's go straight to the point that you are begging me to talk about. Let's go.
Just not equipped to deal with the principal point that I have made. The Jews have suffered racist anti-Semitism down the ages in many, many European countries, including our own. They were subject to regular discrimination at best and pogrom and murder at most. That's undoubtedly true. The one place.
So, also sagt jetzt gerade, was ist hier? Fakt ist, die Justiz hat im Laufe der Jahrhunderte unter widerstandsfähigen Semitismus gelitten und viele, viele europäische Länder sind daran beteiligt. Das hat er gerade gesagt. Das ist Fakt. Das bestreitet überhaupt niemand. Aber die Länder in wo waren daran beteiligt? In Europa. In welchen Ländern genau? Was fällt uns sofort ein? Ach, Deutschland. Okay?
In the entire world, that Jews were neither discriminated against nor subject to pogrom was the Muslim world. In fact,
sagt gerade, die einzigen, die nie antisemitische Verhaltenszüge gezeigt haben und immer Unterstützung gezeigt haben, war die muslimische Welt. Und er macht das Ganze noch, er geht noch tiefer in die Materie.
So much was that the case that when Christianity came back to power in Spain, in Andalusia, in the western extent of the Islamic Empire, when the Muslims left, the Jews left with them.
Habt ihr das gehört? Als die Moslems die Seite Spaniens verlassen haben, die von den Christen unter den Nagel gerissen wurden, da hat auch keiner nett gefragt. Nur mal so nebenbei. So when Spain was conquered by the Christians and then the Muslims left that place that was also not asked for nicely, the Jews followed. Die jüdische Bevölkerung ist mitgegangen, weil sie Angst hatten, den Schutz zu verlieren. Wir haben immer einen Beschützerinstinkt. Immer. Das ist das Erste, was man uns beibringt. Denke an den anderen, bevor du an dich denkst.
Because they feared the Christian anti-Semitism which would be unleashed in the wake of the departure of the Islamic civilization in the West. That's why so many Jews are to be found even today and were to be found in profusion before the creation of the State of Israel in countries like Morocco and along the North African.
Deswegen lebte die jüdische Gemeinschaft und bis heute findet man dort dann jüdische Gemeinschaften in Marokko, im nördlichen Teil von Afrika, in Palästina.
Coast, because under the protection of the Muslims, the Jews left Europe and went to live in North Africa. The Palestine that was wiped off the map when Britain granted you somebody else's country had Jews living side by side with Christians and Muslims for centuries.
What did I say? I said Palestine was for Jewish, Christians, and Muslims at the same time for centuries. No one had ever any problem with any different religion. The only ones who have a problem with all the religions are the ones who worship the devil, the evil people, the Zionists.
Upon century, without the slightest trace of discrimination or violence or pogrom. So, what's happened is that Christian anti-Semitism in Europe, which massacred 6 million Jews in the greatest crime in human history, was paid for not by the Christian country.
Er sagt gerade, was passiert ist in Europa, die größte Katastrophe in der Menschheit, wurde nicht von den Ländern bezahlt, in denen es passiert ist. Nein, nein, nein.
Of Europe that either practiced or turned a
Die entweder mitgemacht haben, ein Blindauge weggedreht haben oder so getan haben, als ob sie nicht wüssten, was um sie herum passiert. So wie es jetzt die Welt tut, wenn sie über Palästina spricht. Genau das Gleiche passiert schon wieder.
blind eye to that anti-Semitism, but was paid by the very people who were completely innocent of that Holocaust.
It was paid by the only people who had nothing to do with anything. Wir haben dafür bezahlt. Die, die am wenigsten mit irgendetwas zu tun hatten. Wir. Wir haben dafür bezahlt und bezahlen bis heute dafür. Wir zahlen für die Straftaten, die Deutschland angetan hat. Wir zahlen mit unserem Blut damit. Denn die Zionisten saßen im hinteren Raum und haben sich alles angeguckt und mit aufgeschrieben und sich überlegt, wie können wir es noch besser machen. 8 Jahre haben sie geplant. Der Plan stand. Davor wurde schon lange geplant. Das erwähnt er hier auch nochmal. So he's going to say that this was planned long time before they acted like they want to do something good for the Jewish people. When they let enough die so they wouldn't have to take a lot with them to the new land that they're going to discover.
Who had never persecuted the Jews, who had never pogromed the Jews. And that seems to me to add insult to the injury suffered by a people whose country was wiped off the map, who were dispersed into exile, to make way for a Zionist idea which was granted to European Jews, because these were the first settlers, granted to European Jews by Britain. And as you have seen,
Nicht alle Juden, die tun ja so, als ob jeder auf dieser Erde, der dem jüdischen Glauben zugehört, da freien Eintritt hat und willkommen wird. Nein, es wurde den europäischen Juden als erstes erlaubt, weil die natürlich die Überlebenden waren, aber es wurde gar nicht darauf gepacht, jetzt irgendjemand anderen noch zu holen. Später haben sie dann gemerkt, ach, wisst ihr was, wir holen einfach alle, tun so, als ob wir daran glauben, damit wir die Palästinenser alle loswerden. Weil das ist das eigentliche Ziel von diesem Ganzen.
Singularly failed 4 times I asked you to acknowledge that Britain had no right to give away somebody else's country, one country giving to a second people, the land that actually belonged to a third people. It seems to me an all-round injustice, don't you think, Alex?
Yeah, I agree that they didn't have...
You see? The Zionist himself agrees. They know it. It's nothing new to them. Er sagt gerade, ja, ich stimme dir zu. Warum? Weil er weiß, dass das alles richtig ist, was er sagt. Die wissen das. Die wissen, was sie tun.
Didn't so much have the right, but they were stepping in after the Holocaust to grant it to the Jews. But it was
It was long before the Holocaust that Britain stepped.
Long before the Holocaust that Britain stepped in. Lange bevor dem Holocaust haben die das schon geplant. Sagt er, sagt nicht ich, sagt er.
Britain stepped in 1917.
19 what? 17, what did I... Oh. Was habe ich euch vor 2 Shows, glaube ich, gesagt? Habe ich euch nicht den Brief gezeigt von 1918? Didn't I show you the letter like 2 or 3 days ago? The letter that was written in 1917, and now he's going to explain it better than I can do. Er wird das jetzt besser erklären, als ich das kann.
With the Balfour Declaration made by the British Minister Balfour on our behalf to a group of atheistic Zionist Jews. I make the point about atheism because it's now claimed that this is some biblical land right, as if God was an estate agent. The men to whom Israel was promised were atheistic Jews. They were not only not speaking for all Jews, they represented at that time in 1917 a tiny proportion of the world.
Er sagt gerade, 1917 wurde das Ganze schon mit den Zionisten geplant, obwohl damals die Zionisten nur einen ganz kleinen Teil der jüdischen Bevölkerung überhaupt repräsentiert haben. Dennoch wurde es ihnen angeboten. Okay? Die wussten, was passiert, die wussten, was kommt und die wussten auch, wie leicht es sein wird, das durchzuspielen.
World's Jews. Most of the world's Jews supported communist or socialist parties and ideas at that time. The Zionists represented a tiny sliver of Jewish opinion at that time. Yet Balfour promised them the land which belonged to a third people without consulting either the British or the world's Jews, and least of all, consulting the Palestinians.
Also, die haben weder die britischen Leute danach gefragt, noch haben sie die jüdischen Leute danach gefragt. Am allerwenigsten wurden die Palästinenser gefragt. Okay?
Okay, well, thanks very much for talking.
Und seine Antwort ist, okay, thank you very much, bye-bye. Das ist seine Antwort. That's his answer. Okay, thank you very much, bye-bye. Because he knows he has no words, nothing left to say.
Okay, Alex, thanks for listening, my friend. On the
I mean, if anybody still can see it, then something is wrong. Like, then we have a different problem. Also, das war die Geschichte mit seit 1917 wird das hier geplant. Das ist eine Münze, okay? Aus dem Land Palästina, in Arabisch geschrieben, in Latein geschrieben, in Hebräisch geschrieben, von 1927 in arabischen Zahlen und in wieder arabischen Zahlen, weil uns die Europäer, die hier schon geklaut haben, haben wir uns einfach hingesetzt und neue erfunden. So this is a coin out of the country, Palestine, written in Arabic, in Latin, and in Hebraic, or whatever you call it. And in the year 1927, which was written in Arabic letters and in Arabic numbers again, because they stole our first numbers, so we had to invent another one, another set. Für alle die sagen, Palästina gibt es nicht. Für alle die immer noch schlafen. Und hier mit diesem Video möchte ich mich jetzt verabschieden. I want to say goodbye with this video. Das ist jetzt ein bisschen mit Sprache, deswegen hoffe ich, dass das für alle zu verstehen ist. Und dann komme ich kurz nochmal zum Tschüss sagen und dann bin ich raus.
Is that they want you to forget about Palestine. And that's the truth. I don't want you. I don't want your money. They don't want your tourism. They want nothing. You and this place needs to finish. And so long as this place is not in the eyes of the Muslims, it's not in the hearts of the Muslims, then for them this is good. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it we know so little about Palestine? You can feel the oppression, and you can see in their eyes that they've given hope in the Muslims. When you visit Palestine, it's not like hearing about it and seeing it on TV. You see the oppression in the eyes of the Muslims. You understand that what's happening in Palestine is very real. Very, very, very real. The reality is that they want you to forget about Palestine.
And we will never forget about Palestine. I will never stop talking about Palestine. Niemals werden wir Palästina vergessen. Niemals, egal was sie tun. Unsere Brüder und Schwestern halten das aus. Our brothers and sisters are gonna prevail. They're strong. I know it. I've seen it. And thank you for everybody. And I'm out. Bye.